day everyone left might feel like the worst day of your life. But what if it wasn't? What if the people walking away from you created the silence you needed to finally hear yourself? No more calls, no more messages, no more pretending everything is okay just to keep people around. At first, that silence hurts. But stay with me, because there is something powerful hidden inside that silence. Sometimes, losing people doesn't mean your life is falling apart. Sometimes, it means your life is finally making room for something better. And by the end of this video, you may understand why the people who left you might have unknowingly given you one of the greatest gifts of your life. You didn't lose yourself when they left. You finally found you when everyone is suddenly gone. The silence can feel strange. You pick up your phone, but there's nobody to call. You open your messages, but nobody is checking on you. You look around, and the people who once filled your life are no longer there. And you start asking questions. Was I not good enough? Did I do something wrong? Why did they leave? Why didn't they value me? These questions can keep you awake at night. But sometimes, you're asking the wrong question. Instead of asking, why did they leave? Ask yourself, what am I supposed to learn now that they are gone? Because not every person who leaves your life is taking something from you. Some people leave and create space. Space for growth. Space for peace. Space for discipline. Space for self-respect. And most importantly, space for you to finally meet yourself. There are moments when you can be surrounded by hundreds of people and still feel completely alone. Because being around people is not the same as being understood. You can have friends and still feel lonely. You can have people calling you and still feel empty. You can be part of a crowd and still feel like nobody truly sees you. And sometimes, you become so focused on keeping everyone else happy that you forget to ask yourself one simple question: am I happy? You become the person everyone can depend on. The person who listens, the person who helps, the person who gives, the person who forgives, the person who is always available. But eventually, you realize something. You were giving everyone access to you while giving yourself almost nothing. And when those people leave, you suddenly have to face the person you've been neglecting. You. One of the hardest lessons in life is learning that you cannot force someone to stay. You can explain yourself. You can apologize. You can give another chance. You can send another message. You can try to fix everything. But if someone has decided they don't want to be there, chasing them will not create genuine love or loyalty. Sometimes, you have to let people go. Not because you don't care, but because you finally care about yourself too. Stop begging people to recognize your value. Stop convincing people that you deserve respect. Stop fighting for a place in someone's life when they keep showing you that they don't want to make room for you. Your value does not decrease because someone failed to recognize it. A diamond doesn't become worthless because someone doesn't know how to appreciate it. So let them go, and let yourself grow. When the crowd disappears, the silence becomes a mirror, and that mirror shows you things you couldn't see before. It shows you how much of your personality was built around pleasing other people. It shows you how often you said yes when you wanted to say no. It shows you how many times you stayed quiet just to avoid conflict. It shows you how many dreams you postponed because you were trying to fit into someone else's expectations. And suddenly you realize, I don't even know who I am without trying to make everyone else happy. That's when the real journey begins. You start asking yourself, what do I actually want? What kind of person do I want to become? What kind of life do I want? What do I believe in? What am I willing to stop tolerating? And slowly, you begin rebuilding yourself. There is a point where you stop needing everyone to understand you. You stop explaining every decision. You stop defending every boundary. You stop trying to prove that you're a good person. You simply become comfortable knowing who you are. That's peace. Peace is not having a perfect life. Peace is knowing that even when life becomes difficult, you can still stand. Peace is not having everyone around you. Peace is being okay with yourself when the room becomes empty. And once you discover that kind of peace, you become dangerous in the best possible way, because you no longer make decisions from desperation. You don't keep unhealthy relationships just because you're afraid of being alone. You don't accept disrespect because you're afraid someone might leave. You don't abandon yourself just to keep somebody else. You finally understand. Your peace matters too. And this is where many people make a mistake. The moment someone leaves, they immediately look for someone else. Another friendship, another relationship, another crowd, another distraction. Anything to avoid sitting alone with their thoughts. But don't rush. Let the silence teach you. You don't have to fill every empty space. Sometimes, an empty space is exactly what you need. Use that time to read, learn, pray, think, work on your goals, take care of your responsibilities, build your character, discover what makes you happy without needing anyone else's approval. Because if you never learn how to be comfortable with yourself, you will always depend on someone else to make you feel complete. And that's a dangerous way to live. Maybe this is your season to rebuild, not for revenge. Not to make the people who left regret their decision. Not to prove that they were wrong. Build yourself because you deserve to become the strongest version of who you can be. Wake up with purpose. Work on something meaningful. Take your education seriously. Improve your skills. Take care of your responsibilities. Spend time with people who genuinely respect you. And most importantly, keep your promises to yourself. If you say you're going to change something, start. If you say you're going to learn something, learn it. If you say you're going to stop accepting disrespect, mean it. Every small promise you keep to yourself builds self-trust. And self-trust changes everything. The people who left may never understand what their absence did for you. They may never know that their departure forced you to grow. They may never see the person you eventually become. And that's okay. Your transformation doesn't need an audience. You don't need them to come back and say, "I was wrong." You don't need them to apologize. You don't need them to watch your success. You don't even need them to know that you're doing better. Sometimes, closure is simply accepting that the chapter ended. You close the book, you keep the lesson, and you continue writing. Think about how much you have survived already. There were moments you thought you couldn't handle. There were nights you didn't know what tomorrow would look like. There were people you thought would always be there. And yet, here you are, still learning, still growing, still moving. Maybe you are not where you want to be yet, but you're not where you used to be either. Don't overlook that. Growth doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes growth is simply choosing peace instead of an argument, walking away instead of begging, saying no instead of betraying yourself, forgiving without returning to the same situation, and choosing yourself without becoming cruel to others. That's growth. So if you're currently in a season where people are leaving, don't assume your story is over. Maybe you're entering a new chapter, a chapter where you become more intentional about who gets access to your life, a chapter where you stop confusing attention with genuine care, a chapter where you stop chasing approval, a chapter where you understand that being alone for a season is not the same as being forgotten. Your life is still moving. Your future is still waiting. There are things you haven't experienced yet, people you haven't met yet, lessons you haven't learned yet, dreams you haven't achieved yet. So don't let one ending convince you that there is no future. Sometimes, the ending of one chapter is exactly what makes the next chapter possible. And maybe one day, you'll look back at this season differently. You'll remember the silence. You'll remember the empty phone. You'll remember the people who walked away. And instead of asking, "Why did they leave me?" you'll say, "Thank you." Not because losing people was easy, but because their absence taught you how to stand on your own. It taught you that your peace cannot depend entirely on other people. It taught you that you can survive disappointment. It taught you that you can rebuild. It taught you that you can love people without losing yourself. And most importantly, it taught you who you are when nobody is watching. So don't rush to fill the silence. Don't chase people who have chosen to walk away. Don't beg for a seat at a table where you are not valued. Stand up. Breathe. Keep going. Build your life. Protect your peace. And become someone you are proud to meet every morning. Because one day, you'll understand. You didn't lose them. You found yourself. If this message spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who may need to hear it today. And remember, your story is not over. Your next chapter may be your best one yet.